Alright, good morning guys. If you're confused about all the assignments, go to my tracker and that will show you all of the assignments I posted. You should have yesterday's assignment, which was fact fluency, unless you've already done it. This assignment, geometry, shape classification, area part 1 and area part 2. You only have 4 assignments this week because Wednesday is a virtual field trip that you're more than welcome to log on to. Doesn't really have anything to do with math, so. Alright. We're going to talk about shapes today, so you have to figure out which statement is true. A quadrilateral is always a parallelogram, but a parallelogram is not always quadrilateral, or a parallelogram is always a quadrilateral, but a quadrilateral is not always a parallelogram. So let's look at these definitions first. Alright, we have quadrilateral. So that's a shape with 4 straight sides and 4 corners. They're showing you that down here. Okay, so we have those sides are the same, and these and those sides are the same. So we have 2 sets of parallel lines. Here we have the same line. I'd like to change the color, but it won't let me. And here we have the same line. So we have 2 sets of parallel lines, but the difference, as you're going to notice, is that our angles are different. So let me erase all these lines because we know we have 2 parallels, but our angles are different. Okay, this is 90 degrees and this is, let's see, this is an acute angle and then we have obtuse angles. Okay, if you remember, acute is less than 90 degrees and obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. Okay, a right angle, oh, I can't spell today, is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so up here in this little bar, they give you a hint, which is awesome. So let's read it. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides, 4 corners, and 4 angles. A parallelogram has 4 sides and 4 angles with opposite sides that are parallel and of equal length. Find the shapes on the quadrilateral chart to decide which is true. So all of these are quadrilaterals because they all have 4 sides, 4 angles, and 4 corners. However, we see that a parallelogram isn't on the outside, it's a quadrilateral because it's inside of the little box. So a parallelogram is always a quadrilateral, but it's not always a parallelogram because if you go back to that hint, a quadrilateral could be a rhombus, it could be a rectangle, it could be a square. Okay, so we have any of those, so the answer is B. Submit that. Boom, correct. Alright. Which of these is a subcategory of parallelograms? A subcategory is a smaller group within. So let's look at the hint. So again, it tells you a parallelogram has 4 sides and 4 angles with opposite sides parallel and of equal length. Use the chart below to see which of the listed can be also called a parallelogram. As you can see, they're all quadrilaterals, but parallelogram has 4 sides and 4 angles with opposite sides that are parallel and of equal length. Which one of these has 4 sides? They all do. They all have 4 angles, but which ones have opposite sides that are parallel? If you look at this, the trapezoid has these 2, but these aren't parallel because if I keep drawing this line, they're eventually going to intersect. You have to think of parallel lines like railroad tracks. They never intersect. So we're going to look at this and we're going to go ahead and click rectangle. Correct. Alright, we're going to look at this. These are called proofs. You'll get to these more as you get into some harder geometry. This is just basic for you guys. Alright, the statement that is true. A square is always a rhombus, but a rhombus is not always a square. A rhombus is always a square, but a square is not always a rhombus. Let's look at the hints. So a square has 4 sides and 4 right angles, as you can see. Okay, you look at my little cursor, we have 4 sides and all of these are 90 degrees. A rhombus has 4 sides and 4 angles, but you can see we have different angles here. It's kind of shifted and tilted. So these sides opposite are parallel and they're equal length. However, they don't have 90-degree angles. So we want to figure out, is a square always a rhombus, but a rhombus isn't always a square? Or a rhombus is always a square, and a square is not always a rhombus? Let's see. You'll have to decide. So even sometimes these get me, I'm pretty sure the answer is A. Yeah. Alright. Select all of the options below and then fill the blank in correctly. A blank is a subcategory of a polygon. So we need to figure out what a polygon is. It's a flat shape with all straight sides. So a polygon would be any of your 2D shapes. So triangles, let's see, a triangle, rectangle, a circle, an octagon, a trapezoid, any of those. So what to figure out? We just talked about triangle. Okay, so we know that's one. It's a flat shape. So a line segment is a line with 2 endpoints. This would be a line segment. Okay, like you're on a map, point A to B. So is that really a shape? Does it have all straight sides? Is it a flat shape? We'll have to figure it out. A ray is a line that starts and extends forever. Okay, so it's going to keep going. And an octagon we know is a stop sign. So I'm going to go ahead and click A and D. Let's just see what they say. Awesome. So lines and rays are not considered shapes. Okay, think of shapes as lines, or lots of lines that are ended up connecting and making an object. Alright, so now we're going to look at this question. What categories does this shape belong to? We're going to select all that apply. So we have, these little triangle guys are just showing you the opposite sides are parallel. So if we kept extending these lines, it's going to go on forever. And same with these. Okay? So let's look at the hint. So we have 2D shapes. They go into quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals are 2D shapes. Okay, but they can also be a rectangle, square, and a rhombus. But parallelograms are rectangles and rhombuses. They are not squares. You see there's no angle here, but rhombuses and rectangles are squares. I know that this is probably confusing you a little bit. This is just some practice for classification. You're still going to use your basic shape knowledge that you know. So we know that the shape down there is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides, 4 angles. That's the definition of a quadrilateral. We know that it's going to be a parallelogram because quadrilaterals are parallelograms. All quadrilaterals are going to have at least one set of parallel sides for the most part. And then we have parallelograms can be rectangles and they can be rhombuses, but as you see, they cannot be a square. So we're going to go back to the question now. So we know that the shape is a quadrilateral. If we looked at that hint, that quadrilaterals can be rhombuses and parallelograms, but it cannot be a square. Oh, well, I got that one wrong. Let's see. I'm going to try this. Alright, got it right this time. Sorry, guys. That does happen every once in a while. So that last question, it wasn't a rhombus because rhombuses don't have 90-degree angles. That's why I forgot about that part. Okay. So this is the same type of thing. You're going to go through proofs, use the hints. They're going to be the most helpful. You're going to get a couple of questions like this. Quadrilateral. Remember, quad means 4. So obviously a pentagon has 5 sides. That one is going to be out of question. Alright, let's see. What categories does a shape belong to? Well, we know it's a square because we have opposite sides parallel. They're equal. And we have 90-degree angles. But we also have a parallelogram here because we have opposite sides parallel. Okay? And we know it's a quadrilateral and a rhombus. So, there you go. Not too bad. And the reason that that last one was a quadrilateral and a rhombus is because squares kind of go out from there. So square is kind of your basic thing in the middle, and then everything kind of goes out from there, okay? I know that might have been a little bit difficult, but you guys can do it. You can always ask questions. You can go back to this video, use the hints, use the videos that Freckle gives you. They're very great resources. So make sure you're using those. And you can always Google stuff. Google's a great tool as well. It can help you out with those. These are called geometric proofs. That's what these are referred to. So good luck. It's okay if you don't do the greatest. We're just working on this. This is something we need to try. It would be a lot easier to teach it in class. But I'm doing the best that I can. So if you need me, message me. You know how that works.